And good morning, everybody. It's another hot day here in Houston. Of course, it was, 78 at 6 a.m. So what can I say? Now, there is one thing that we did missed, and we want to talk about a little bit, is the Houston Horror Film Festival going on at the Marriott Hotel this weekend. It's Hey, they have some great actors and actresses there. Go by and check them out. Go by, check out the vendors. Everything should be good. Now, we do have a special guest with us, Tara Tinsley. She's a singer and songwriter. And I know we have a lot of authors that watch, so she might talk a little bit about the songwriting and how to put the words with music. That would be helpful for some of those people. But let's say hey. Everybody say hey. Amy, CJ.
Hey! You underestimated when you said it was hot. It's not hot. It's just like hot and sticky. I would probably rather be in an oven than outside, okay? And I'm used to dry heat, okay? Dry heat's where I'm from. San Antonio, dry heat, I got it. But the Houston, Bryan, oh my God, I feel like I'm in a swamp. It's gross. It's just gross.
Well, and this time of the year is actually just the warm-up because July and August are worse. So this is like the preheating of the oven. So if it's already just preheating, can you imagine how hot it's going to be come July and August?
It's just gross. But it is sunshining. There's no rain, no nothing. Absolutely nothing. That's a given. So it is a beautiful day out. So I'm thankful that it is a nice day.
Obviously, you're not here in Houston because, I mean, it rains every 2-3 hours, depending on what part of the city you're in.
I know. I remember that. I do not miss that at all. I don't. And I'm not that far north from you. I mean, I'm only an hour and a half from Cypress. So I'm not that far north, and I'm clear skies of it. So
hey,
Lufkin, we're clear as a bell.
We're going to be raining all next week, and who knows what's going to happen this weekend. We just play it by ear down here.
Yeah. Well, at this point, our trees are finally drying out because we planted a lot of new baby trees with the orchard on Serenity Acres, and so they've been like drowning for the last month and a half. So they're finally drying out. But we need to focus on the reason why we're here today, which is Tara Tinsley.
Definitely.
Well, my weather here is very similar. So I'm in the Dallas area. So if we want to keep talking about weather, we can.
Nice. See, there you go. So you can relate to the, bipolarness of our Texas state. Because it really is a bipolar weather state. Like the Panhandle gets snow, and then further south you go, you just get more humid. It's I don't know. There's few times a year I wish I lived in the Panhandle, and then not so much.
I would not want to live in the Panhandle because I hear they have tarantula crossings, and I do not do spiders.
No,
I got those. I'm okay. I got those. They're not as big as the ones in California, but I can deal. I'm all right. I run from it, and as long as it doesn't chase me, I'm good.
That's the thing, though. They chase me, and I'm not kidding. I've been in places where spiders, this huge place, and a spider's literally dropping in front of me, or they're crawling on the floor.
They love you,
CJ. They sense your fear.
Just be their friend. They just they feel a mutual connection and they want to be your BFF. Just accept it. I've come to
not mutual. It is like stalkers. They're like everywhere. They're
they're like Tom Cruise coming in.
Yes. Mission Impossible coming in wherever they are. I mean, black widows who are supposed to hide. I've opened a door before and it's sitting right there. The hourglass.
Maybe you have the eye to spot them, maybe it's just you're very observant when it comes to spiders.
You are never more than 3 feet from a spider wherever you are at any given time.
That doesn't bring me comfort because I'm in my house and I'd like to think that my house is a bug-free zone. So it's my mind.
Not in Texas.
Nope.
I'm not going to listen to that. I'm like, oh no, it's a happy bug-free zone. Yes. Okay. That's what it is.
No, my husband even sprays poison. We have like a 3-foot radius around the house because me and spiders don't get along so well. He makes sure there's a 3-foot radius. Anything outside of that 3-foot radius is welcome to stay and live and take care of the mosquitoes, etc. But they're not allowed in the house. But I do know that they have hair.
Oh.
Well, I'm sure those mosquitoes are taking those tarantulas and just carrying them off as large as they are down here.
Yeah, they are.
Mosquitoes, very much so.
Well, we did mention singing and songwriting, and one thing that I did read on your bio is that you actually wrote a song with Tracy Lawrence.
Yeah, I did.
Wow.
Tell us about that experience.
So I guess the way it's happened was I used to live in Nashville, and I was at this, hunting fishing event, and there was this guy over yonder, as you guys might say in Texas, I don't know. And he was trying to pour a beer into a to-go mug, and he wasn't pouring it correctly, so it was overflowing everywhere. So me being the superhero that I am, I grabbed a bunch of napkins for him and started wiping up his mess. And he looked up at me and he's like, "Hey, thank you. You look familiar. Do you do anything in town?" And I said, "I'm kind of new here, but my name's Tara Tinsley, and I write music and I play." And I was like, "But you look familiar too. Like, what's your name?" And he said, with this all knowing smile, "Tracy Lawrence."
Wow.
And we got to talk, and it turns out he was trying to, next door, his wife was at a soccer event for their kids, and he was trying to bring her a beer. That was really nice of him, right? And so he's putting it in a to-go mug to go take it to her next door. But anyway, we got to talking about music and songwriting, and he said my story reminded him of his when he first moved to town. So he's like, "Do you want to write together?" And so I was like, "Yeah, I do. That would be really cool." So my people talked to his people, or really I emailed him, and yeah, we got together with his longtime co-writing partner, Flip Anderson, and we wrote More Sinners Than Saints. The original idea, when we were in the moment, took some time to get to, because Tracy was kind of on the, tear in your beer, sort of like cry me a river sort of thing. And then Flip kept saying, let's get over that, And so we all kind of got to the point where oh, this is a kind of a fun song, fun carefree song that's, faster and not so, sad. But Tracy is so good though at singing those slow songs. I swear, I have a copy of him singing this song that we wrote together, but a slow version. I kind of made it more rock and roll because that's my style more. And it sounds really good when he sings it slow, but I like it a little faster, more rock and roll.
So how did you, I know people kind of cringe when they're like, the question of how did it start sort of idea, but kind of take us a little bit back on that journey of how you've climbed as far as you have.
Okay, well, from the beginning, I loved playing music and singing, but I was always too shy. I wouldn't even sing in front of my own family, but I loved doing it for some crazy reason. And there got to a point where my mom started teaching me the national anthem. We used to race at the motocross races, and there was no national anthem singer. So she saw that, and she was just like, secretly had an ulterior motive or something, teaching me the national anthem. And then one day we arrive at the motocross track, and she's like, "Hey, so we don't have a national anthem singer. Can she sing?" And she knows I'm the kind of person that if I have an obligation, I feel really bad if I don't do it. So since he said yes, I was forced to just sing the national anthem, even though I'm so shy in front of all these people. And I remember feeling like I did terrible. Even though people cheered, I was like, it's because it's the national anthem. They're cheering because it's the national anthem, not because I did a good job. This was terrible. I'm never singing again, because that's what the shy person says, right, for every public thing they do. Mm-hmm. And so I'm walking down the stairs, and this woman comes up to me. And I was about 14, or no, maybe I was 15 or 16. I'm not sure. I was somewhere around there. And she comes up to me and she says, "That was amazing." And then as I walked away from her, comments, I was like, "I'm doing this forever. This is the best thing." And how wishy-washy teenagers are. And from there, I realized I had to get over my shyness, and I took some improv acting classes, which are, the shy person's worst nightmare, and having to be in front of people and then come up with something on the fly when you have this fear of people. And then eventually, you know, that kind of got me over all that. And I moved to California. I was living in Michigan during this time. Moved to California and basically started playing shows and made connections, and then moved to Nashville. And, you know, here I am in Texas today. So I guess that's like a shortish, long version.
Well, I get the shy thing. I did drama for a while, but the beauty of drama is it's somebody else's words. It's not you.
Yeah. Yes.
So like the difference between improv and drama is huge. One is best words given to you and you're just playing it for a person. So again, I'm probably as painfully shy as you are. I would hide behind the tables at book shows. And so how I came over it was I just thought, okay, draw on my drama stuff. And I just pretended like I was the cheerleader or whatever and would just pull all energy out as much as I could until I finally just started developing a thick skin.
Yeah, you know, and what's funny about you saying that is that I would just imagine to myself getting on stage that Tara Tinsley was someone else than just Tara. Like, I'm Tara every day, but Tara Tinsley is this confident person that is super comfortable with this. And so it's kind of funny that you said that, because that's kind of what I did.
Yeah. And we were talking before the show is that you're kind of like a nature kid. You know, I'm a nature kid too, so I get it. I understand it. And I think that might be like a shy quality or something. We kind of hide in nature.
Yeah.
And so, you know, when you're doing the two, you almost have to have a dual mindset.
Yeah.
When you're doing it. So, you know, but it allows you to stay grounded and stay humble in yourself.
Yeah, exactly. And too, as a shy person, I think a big reason why you don't want to be in front of people is because you're afraid of, you know, the judgment maybe, or just afraid of messing up or whatever. But it comes from fear. And so I learned a long time ago that, you know, if you're going to take in the positive things people say about what you're doing, you're going to take in the negative things as well. And when you do that, your definition of yourself comes from other people. So I realized that if I'm going to do this, I really need to keep all of it out and just know who I am besides all that, and be like, that's awesome. Like, I'm glad you like my stuff, or I'm not glad you don't like my stuff, but that's okay, because not everyone's going to like it, and kind of just keep it not inside me and just acknowledge what people say, maybe take constructive criticism when I feel like it really applies, and then move on instead of just, because if you dwell on the good things, you're going to dwell on the bad things, and that both of those things can destroy you in different ways.
Definitely.
Well, one of the other things that I was reading about, which I'm highly impressed with, is you actually toured a little bit with Boston.
Yeah, no, I didn't tour. I actually opened for them once in Modesto.
Okay.
Very cool, though.
That would have been, I guess, like a thrill of a lifetime type, because that's, I mean, Boston's Boston. A lot of people definitely know who they are.
Yeah. Well, you know what's funny is, at the time I didn't really know who they were that much. I mean, I was more into, you know, Tom Petty and Molly Hatchet and stuff. But out of all the bands I was super excited to open for, I don't know if you really heard of them. They weren't super famous, but Sister Hazel, I grew up really loving their music and just listening to it all, like, sad sometimes, because they have some sad songs. And I was a teenager, you know, you're sad a lot. And, or at least I was. And so I loved their music, and it was cool to kind of come full circle and open for them, and realizing, ooh, like, the sad turns happy, you know, and then hearing their songs and being super excited after I played, seeing them, and the guy, the lead singer, well, they're all singers, but the main guy, he comes up to me after I played and said I did a good job. It was just the coolest thing. It's like, okay, try not to keep that positive thing inside me either, but it was really cool.
Speaking of getting things out from inside of you, songwriting. How did you venture from covers to writing your own stuff? And what is that like, kind of? I know being an author, it's like every time I put a book out there, you're like putting a part of your soul, and you're kind of like presenting it very gently, like, please don't squish it, please don't squish my heart.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Well, so when I started, I was against doing covers. I never wanted to do covers. I'm like, that's just wrong, you know? for some reason, just the rebel inside of me, I guess. And so I would only do originals. And then when I moved to California and had to play longer shows, I realized I needed to start doing covers. So I think putting myself out there obviously was always difficult, in any way, obviously, because I was shy, but I don't know, there's something about, maybe I just had this need inside to just share what's inside me. And also I feel like with music too, I didn't always do this, but it kind of developed into a thing where I wanted to share, my experiences through song or other people's experiences through song to maybe help other people. And then it makes it not so like, all me, but it is scary too. I think live shows more than anything, because you'd get in front of different audiences and you're playing your music and, they could just not care at all. And that you're just standing there like, why am I even here? I was at a show one time where I felt that, and actually more than once, but there's this one time that was the worst in Memphis, Tennessee. And just, I didn't even know why anyone was there, but I was also questioning why I was. And, it doesn't matter if you're playing originals or covers, just that feeling like, okay, well, am I terrible, But I left and went to Nashville after that and then felt amazing. But it's just, I realized that, like you can really let it get to you and let those situations really get you down. And then the amazing things bring you up. And that's why I said that earlier about just like trying to separate yourself from that in both ways.
That's a lot of thing with music and writing music, because a lot of the artists put their heart and soul into it.
Yeah.
And you really are putting yourself out there. Like CJ said, when an author comes up with a book, it's like, okay, here's my work. Please love it. You're anxious for that first review.
Love it. Just don't squish it.
Yeah. Don't say the negative things, only the positive.
Just don't tear it up. I don't care if you don't like it. Just don't.
Yeah, exactly.
You have a birthday coming up, and first, happy birthday! I think.
Oh, thank you.
July 1st, I think.
Yes.
Oh, happy birthday!
Thank you.
But you do a promotion for preemies. Explain how and why you got into that.
Okay, so usually every birthday I put on some sort of promotion, and right now it's free shipping on my website. But I also occasionally, for different reasons, donate 50% of the profits from my sales online or in person, if I'm doing in-person shows, to a cause. And right now I'm donating 50% of my profits to Miracle Babies because, Miracle Babies is a organization that assists people in many different ways to help the people that have had preemie babies. And so my niece, she was born 3 months and 1 week early. And she was born 1 pound, 2 ounces. And through her little journey of strength and just, literally she's a miracle coming through that and just seeing, everything my brother and sister-in-law went through. And then to also see the little girl she is today. I ended up, when I was living in Nashville, writing a song called Better Early Than Never about that experience with my friend James McNair. And that has always stuck in my mind because it's such a big part of our family. She was the first, my first niece or nephew, right? She was my first niece or any child that was from my siblings. And it was just a crazy experience. So I just feel like looking at what they went through and what other people go through, whether it's like a happier story or a not so happy story, no matter what, I think a lot of these people need assistance. I mean, my niece, I'm pretty sure this is accurate, but my brother and sister-in-law can correct me if I'm wrong, but the total amount of time she spent in the hospital cost $1 million. $1 million. And luckily they had insurance. They didn't have to pay for a lot of that. They had to pay for quite a bit, but they didn't have to pay for a lot of that. And there's some people that, don't have that. So that's why Miracle Babies exists. I mean, they give diapers, and they help people a lot in different ways. And that's why I feel like your world's already shattered. You're wondering, is your baby going to live, or what kind of disabilities they might have or not have, and then also have to think about money, and that's kind of what the song talks about too. And so that's why I like to help every so often miracle babies, because they help those people.
Now, which song in particular was that again?
Better Early Than Never.
Better Early Than Never. And the 50% of the proceeds, is that from all of your sales?
Yeah, all sales. Yeah, all.
Okay, for the month of July.
For the month of July, starting now though, until July 31st. And then also, no matter what, all sales for Better Early Than Never, if anyone buys the song, all sales always go to Miracle Babies for that song.
Very cool. I appreciate that. That's awesome.
Nice.
And that can be found on Spotify, or where can they find that?
Yeah, you can purchase Better Early Than Never on anywhere, like Apple Music, my website, Bandcamp. You can listen, stream on Spotify, or I think Google Play, all those, you can stream anywhere and find it probably anywhere. Just if you can't, if you just want to Google it, you could Google it, or just use the place that you usually listen to music the most.
And which website?
TaraTinsley.com.
Okay.
Yeah,
It's also in the comments down below. If you're watching now or you're watching later, it is in the comments. But I want to slightly switch gears. I want to know what brought you to Texas and what brought you to Dallas. I was born and raised here, so I don't know, I have the heart and soul of a Texas girl, and so I believe that nowhere else is as good as Texas, and that's, just me personally. But I would love to know, what brought you here and why you picked Dallas and how you like it so far, since you've lived all over. I mean, Nashville is probably the closest I would say to Texas living in my opinion, so.
Yeah, it is very similar. But so I would tour here a lot. And my brother and sister-in-law have lived here forever, and my sister used to live here. So I've been here a lot. My aunt and uncle live here. So I always loved playing shows here. It's the one place where, you were talking about originals, CJ, and playing covers. And it's the one place where you can play original songs and people get up and dance and stuff, other places they're listening and it's cool. But I mean, people don't really get up and dance for really anything, especially an acoustic show. I mean, all I was doing was playing acoustic guitar and singing, and they're getting up and dancing. It's so cool. Usually you need a band for that. So loved that. And also I was living in Seattle at the time, Tacoma, with my husband, because he lived there. And it's a long story how I got there, but I was there, okay? And it's really rainy, if you've ever been. And I moved from Nashville to Washington basically for him, with the agreement and the idea that we both like sunshine, we both like warmth, and we weren't going to always stay there. So moving there, it was really great, but too rainy, too cloudy. We want sunshine and warmth. So we thought, okay, where's family? California, we have family, that's warm. Texas, family, it's warm. Okay, let's do Texas, because I've lived in California for 10 years. It was awesome, prices and everything. There's many reasons why I feel like Texas is our home. I feel like it really, Texas is the heart of Texas, is more of what we're about too. And just the culture, the people, just walking on the street, being able to, make friends with people is so much easier. And I'm all about that because I'm kind of an introvert and it's harder for me to make friends. So it's, I don't know, Texas was kind of it was a hard decision to get to because he also wanted Arizona, which his friends were there. But finally I won, so.
Yeah, there you go. You picked the better of the options. But I mean, I'm a biased Texas country girl, so
I have to agree.
So I know with the pandemic that had to have been hard because you couldn't have been able to tour or anything or like that. So how has that affected you? I know you've done shows via Facebook, but how has that overall affected you?
So what's not funny, I guess, but what's ironic about this whole thing is when the pandemic hit, I was pregnant. And so I ended up having a pandemic baby, they call it, right?
Hey, so did I!
Yeah, right on. Cool. Right on. See? So yeah, you get it. And so
you got time off though during your pregnancy, which is a good thing because then you could relax and keep baby okay and everything.
Yeah, and plus I already wasn't doing anything. So I moved to we moved to Texas December 2009, no, November, I don't know. I think it was something like that, 2019. So when we came here, you know, it was like a few months before the pandemic. So I already wasn't planning on not doing anything because I used to play a bunch of shows. I used to teach music lessons, and I thought, I'm not going to do anything because I'm about to have a baby. And I thought my belly would be bigger too. I don't know. Like I thought like it would be too hard to play guitar. Like my belly would be out to here. I could have totally played shows, but I just decided not to. And it was perfect timing anyway, because then the pandemic hit. And then obviously having a newborn and all that, it's just, you know, impossible to just want to do anything when you're so tired. And so, I mean, it kind of like, it's weird, but I was already planning on not doing anything. So it really didn't affect my plans. The baby kind of affected the idea of how I thought things were going to be, you know, like, oh, I'll get back to doing stuff so much quicker than I actually did. But, you know, doing the online shows is cool, and I still haven't played any in-person shows yet just because I'm trying to, like, navigate how I'm going to do that. I think I'm ready. But, yeah, having a kid, as anyone knows, right, it takes up a lot of time, and I want her to be number one, you know, when it comes to my time, and I don't want her to ever feel like I, you know, was too focused on my music and stuff, even though I am. It's just, it's not like the number one priority anymore. So when I don't do stuff, when I can't play shows, when I can't do stuff, it's not a huge disappointment because I already planned this happening. But I do want to do things occasionally. I'm just not going to do it like I used to, unfortunately.
Yeah.
But
things switch gears. I totally get it. I have two girls. They're 13 months apart, and my youngest one was during a pandemic, and so it was. I understand, but I went right to work, but I'm virtual, so that's how I manage that. But now, I mean, I've had to have a babysitter or a nanny, I guess, come and watch so I can do meetings, and your priorities really do shift, you know, because I mean that's who I am. I try to do everything either Monday through Friday or Monday and Friday, so my kids feel like they have just mommy time and stuff. So I totally get it. But on the belly thing, my first child, I didn't get that big. My second child, oh my gosh, it was like, my husband used to tell me, he was like, wow, that's like a 9-pound watermelon. And so he would make me take pictures next to watermelons. It was awful. I don't know what pregnant woman wants that. And so then after I had my pandemic baby, we have like a wall of mirrors, and he has my watermelon photos, and he's like, hey, this is when it was like a 7-pound watermelon.
That's awesome.
He tortures me, and it's cool. Okay, it's really cool.
That's so funny.
I get it. I mean, I don't know if you had the same experience, but I mean, my husband couldn't go to my appointments, so I was on my appointments by myself, and then, you know, labor and delivery, you know, with a mask on, and it was intense. So I totally feel this pandemic baby, and I'm like, you are special because of that, but I love you equally, but you're just kind of special with your pandemic babiness.
Yeah. Well, it was, imagine this. Thankfully, I didn't have to wear a mask, but it's because they made me do a COVID test while in labor.
Yes. Oh my God.
That was
yes.
While in labor?
Yes.
Yes, because she said you have to wear a mask unless you do the COVID test. Yeah. Because obviously, like, if you don't do the COVID test, then they're just going to assume you have COVID. They're going to treat you like, and they said they would come in like with hazmat suits on and everything. And I'm like, okay.
Oh my gosh. No, yes. So I went into labor. I got my COVID shot because I was going to be induced because my second daughter decided to come late. She just needed to have this entrance and be late. And it was like 4 hours after I got my COVID test for my scheduled induction that my daughter came, and it was like, oh my God, you just waited for my COVID test. And I had to have it like all throughout my pregnancy. I think I had to get it like 3 times throughout just to make sure. And I mean, it's just like at the point you just get there and you're like, yeah, do your thing. I got it. You know, I'm like, I'm experienced in this COVID testing thing. Like, because you're just so tired. You're like, man, I'm so pregnant. I'm tired. Yeah, stick the little thing up my nose. At this point, I don't care.
Yeah. Well, honestly, if you're in so much pain, more weird things happening doesn't affect you like it would if no weird things were happening or no pain was happening.
Yeah,
right? Like,
if you got time to fixate on it, but you have so much else going on that you're like, I don't care. 500 people could walk in the room and I'm done caring. I'm over.
Yeah.
So, no, yes, I can.
I'm just surprised the doctors and nurses were brave enough to make pregnant women do that, because any
They-
pregnant
no,
women I know in labor are violent.
No, you're not. I wasn't violent, but I mean, it's like they were putting my IV in. My daughter came in 45 minutes. Okay, my second daughter. And it was like, if I didn't make it to the hospital, my daughter was coming in the car kind of thing. So I was like in the middle of, like, the people in the ER, they wanted me out because I had to go into the ER, and they were like blowing up labor and delivery's phone to come get me because they were like, you need to come get this woman. We don't want this baby here. Like, it was that kind of thing. Okay. So I'm like, yeah, so you're like in labor and this lady's like trying to stick me with an IV and I guess she made it. I mean, I have no idea. And I don't do needles. I usually get lightheaded and stuff. And at this point, you don't care. Like, you just don't care. You really don't.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like you're just like, whatever. Like, I mean, for me, this sounds really bad, but like, there could be drunk people fighting, and you're just like, I don't care what's going on. Like you just don't care about anything. You're just
we're gonna have the team from down the street come in. Sure, come on in.
I'm telling you stop caring. It's just one of those things. So now I'm like, I don't care about a bunch of stuff now. I'm like,
yeah. Yeah.
Well, while we're on the subject of this, let's change it a little bit back over to this side.
It goes, pandemic baby, the whole pandemic thing.
Yeah.
It went.
I'm not
I
the
asked
one
the wrong
question.
question.
Funky questions today. Today's easy.
I thought it was a fun question.
But
You opened the gate, okay? You opened the gate.
It's reality. It's reality. It's what people are dealing with. It's what people
it's true.
deal with. And it's reality. It's life.
It's fun. Greg, what topic would you rather talk about?
well,
He's
let's
the
see.
guy over there going la 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 la.
Well, I know you're doing a show next month to talk about your song Faith, so I don't want to take anything away from that, especially since this has been posted there. But what can you tell us about it? And I know that it's been on what was it, Christian country radio?
Yeah. So okay, let's see. What can I tell you about it? So basically, the idea for the song came when I was living in Tacoma and going to this church called Trinity Church, and the pastor there started talking about basically, the chorus, kind of, like what the chorus says. And when he was talking, it really hit me. It stuck with me, and I couldn't let it go. And that's all of a sudden, you're gonna write a song, And so as we were leaving, I just wrote down a bunch of notes and realized later, when it couldn't leave my head, that what I wrote down was the chorus. It was the first half of the chorus, and then the second half of the chorus just came so easily from there. But then I still obviously didn't have the rest of the song. And one day I was walking on the waterfront of Tacoma, there's Theophos waterway where I used to live, and with my dog, and it was kind of rainy and gloomy and like usual. And all of a sudden I just felt like, the first verse, like, you tell me I won't escape trouble and I can't hide from the rain. And in Seattle area, you can't hide from the rain, but it was like more metaphorical, and because it was kind of more like, you could talk about like the enemy, or people that come against you or whatever. This is in response to that, saying, you could tell me all these things, but I know who I am, and I have faith in the one who gives me that definition of who I am. And that's basically, the song is, you know, if you're coming against anything, that as long as you have faith, even as small as a mustard seed, you know, you can get over it all, not because of your strength, but because of God, because our his strength is made perfect in our weakness. And so
Philippians 13.
yeah. And that song just stuck with me so much that I was like, I need to record this when I go to Nashville. And from there, you know, we did the music video, filmed it actually, you know, in the by, you know, Mount Rainier with all the beautiful scenery, and so that's all I guess I could say for now without going into a really long explanation.
Well, like I said, I do know that you plan on doing a show, I think you said next month, on your Facebook page.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
How could people get a part of that? Let them know how they can become part of Tara Tinsley Insiders.
So the Insiders group is a group where I do special things for my fans, and you know, I do. I'm going to be doing more through the summer. I haven't been as lately because I've been busy with the Faith release and stuff, but, you know, doing like, you know, sneak peeks to new songs and special, you know, live streams, and even some, exclusive downloads and stuff like that. And it's, if you want to find it, you just go to facebook.com/groups/Tara Tinsley. And then, yeah, I will post it there, but that show will also be on YouTube, though, youtube.com/Tara Tinsley. Because that's more of a public thing, though I am going to do some more exclusive stuff for the Insiders. And it's going to be every song I release, I do a behind the songs episode. Because a lot of people like to know the story behind the song. And so I go in at more an in-depth like dissection of the story, and I'm also going to talk about the music video because a lot of people have had questions about that as well.
Now, I listened to the song before we got on, and I shared the YouTube link for that particular song before we got on here today. And I just, like I said, I fell in love with the chorus. Would you mind doing the chorus for us?
Yeah, I mean, I can play the whole song.
If you play the whole song,
yeah.
I would love it.
Cool, I'll do it.
Awesome.
I'll mute us.
I just happen to have a guitar right here now. This song is actually, if you notice in the when you hear it, it's a very piano forward song though. But hooking up piano and stuff for this sort of thing, it's harder than an acoustic guitar, so I figured I'd do an acoustic version for you. And I've heard people, like, I've recently played this for someone acoustic, and one of the guys said he liked this version better, so who knows? You tell me I won't escape trouble, and I can't hide from rain. There'll be times that I'll give and give and give, and all I'll get back is pain. Don't tell me how high is that mountain, how thick the walls of Jericho are, how tall Goliath is, or that I'm against all odds. There's a way when there seems to be no way. There's a shout that'll shatter a wall. There's a stone that'll make a great giant fall. Faith is the one thing that can stand against it all. You tell me I should get up, that I should just throw in the towel, but I know I can get to the other side of this, even though you can't seem to see how. Don't tell me how high is that mountain, how thick the walls of Jericho are, how tall Goliath is, or that I'm against all odds. There's a way when there seems to be no way. There's There's a shout that'll shatter a wall. There's a stone that'll make a great giant fall. Faith is the one thing that can stand against it all. Don't tell me how high is that mountain, how thick the walls of Jericho are, how tall Goliath is, or that I'm against all odds. There's a way when there seems to be no way. There's a shout that'll shatter a wall. There's a stone that'll make a great giant fall. Faith is the one thing that can stand against it all. Faith is the one thing that can stand against it all.
Beautiful. Yay.
Yay.
Thank you.
Yeah, I feel like going
Definitely
to
love that
church.
song.
I like it.
Yeah.
Seriously, like I said, I listened to it this morning and it just gave me goosies. And I'm like, everybody has been at that point at some point in their life. If they haven't, they will.
Yes.
And so it gives people hope. And I love that about that song.
Good. Yeah. That was the goal. You know, I feel like with this song more than any song, I just, you know, even if it just reaches one person and changes their life maybe in just a small way that helps them, then it was all worth it.
Mm-hmm. And there's a lot of power behind that song. You know, Hebrews 11, they call it the Hall of Faith. And so you pulled a lot of the different elements from that and, you know, just the different powerful points of what God can do and God can help people behind it. So I really appreciate that.
Yeah, thanks.
Now, I know you said that your daughter's number one, or that's definitely. But do you plan on going back around, like maybe the state of Texas, different places?
Yeah, I mean, my husband has been encouraging me to get out again and do different shows and stuff. So I do plan on definitely getting local and even through Texas. Not sure where it goes from there. I feel like if God goes, here's an opportunity, do it, like then that's where I'm going. But I'm just, you know, I have my plans, and then if God's like, well, you know, you probably should do a tour, then yeah, okay, fine. But which I wouldn't be like so upset about, but I definitely don't want it to interfere. You know, I don't want to ever just feel like I'm, you know, leaving and always gone. I know there's some, you know, I sing a lot of country music, and I know a lot of country artists in Nashville. They'll be weekend warriors where they'll go away for the weekend, you know, and come back because they have families, they want to be home. And then there's others that, like pop stars, you know, a lot of pop stars do this, but some major country artists do, as well as they're always gone, maybe 3, 4, 5, 6 months out of the year, you know. And it's just I couldn't do that. If I was going to do that, I'd be more of a weekend warrior type, you know, where I just, you know, go, you know, to a region, play a few shows, come back, and then, you know, go from there.
Well, I know there's a place in the Woodlands, which isn't too far from here, called Do-Si Do's, which
Yes, it is.
just remember that, and I'll definitely get some people there to go see you.
Yeah, well, cool, right on. That'd be fun.
Awesome.
Oh, Amy or CJ?
Well, I just, like I said, I want to thank you, and I really appreciate you putting that song out there. I know when Carrie Underwood put her Jesus Take the Wheel out there, she got given a lot of grief. And But that song helped a lot of people, and I have a feeling this one will do the same once it starts getting out and getting circulated, if it hasn't already.
Yeah. Well, you know, if they say you feel like the devil has left you alone, then you're probably not doing so much of the right thing, right? So like if you're doing something good, you're always going to have someone coming against you, and that means that it's what you should be doing. So you got to expect it, and I'm ready.
Nice. No, I mean, this has been a fun conversation. I got to make Greg squirm a little bit, which is always fun for me.
I think you need to make that our goal.
I love it. I love it. That's just my weekend has been made now. But, thanks for having the like fun, awkward, squirming conversation with me, to make Greg squirm. But it's been awesome. Your music is definitely beautiful, and I know that it resonates with a lot of people. So I guess the way I would close it out for myself is to just keep doing what you're doing because you're amazing at it. And congratulations on your daughter. Girls are awesome. Mine's about to open the door here in a minute, so I gotta hurry and mute myself. But it was awesome. This was such a great Saturday conversation, and having you on and doing a live performance was just amazing. So thank you so much for coming on and talking with us, weird. I like to call us the weird bunch, but I love it. So that's just
very unique. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, do you have the drawing ready? Or are we going to have to do another weekend for that?
No, I have it, Greg. Give me a minute.
Well, let's just pull it up. Thank you for singing your song live, Tara. We really appreciate it.
Yes.
Oh, yeah. You're welcome.
And we definitely appreciate you being on our show.
Yes.
Yeah.
Always
Thanks
so
for having me. And you're talking about weird stuff. I mean, I love awkward situations because it really brings out who you are, and then plus it breaks barriers. They say you can learn more in an hour of play, or maybe awkward stuff, from someone than you can in a lifetime of talking. So
exactly.
Hey.
Very true.
I love it. All right, Greg, I'm going to put all these names. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
You have one that's just an E. Is that
That's correct.
Oh, okay. I mean, I was looking at it and I was like, well, you said
These are a bunch of gamers. What can I say?
They're my people. Yes. Okay.
Now we need to explain what this is for because some people aren't exactly aware what this is for. So before
Okay, this is actually
awesome.
This is actually on the Discord channel, and we had about 30 of those people subscribe out of about 500. So this is for a coffee cup, which I don't have anywhere near me right now.
Wait.
Wait. I do have the coffee cup here.
I was like, I'll go get mine.
I don't
Coffee
have
cup
one.
with
Why
the
do I not
con
have
hour.
one?
Oh, CJ, don't feel bad. I saw him at DegaCon and I literally jacked it off his table as I was walking out the door.
Okay, so
I
now we're going on to like Comic Palooza or Comic Con, and I'll
Just go to his table and
They'll
take
be at both.
Just go. Well, okay, no, I'm not going to say that because I don't want other people to do that. But go and talk to Greg and be like, "Hey, man, you know me. I'm on with you. Like, we're BFFs, man."
Yeah, we got to work. I even have the T-shirt. I literally have the T-shirt.
Yep.
Hey, I get it. I was just walking out the door and he was by the door and I was like, "Hey, later's Greg," and I jacked a cup. But no one else do that. I don't recommend you do that.
Well, see, we have a little bit extra pull because we're co-hosts. That allows us a little bit extra pull between the different co-hosts for different things. Like you guys
Normally
can
I
jack books
tackle
off my
people.
table. I can jack a coffee cup off of his.
I'm telling you, I'm going to get myself in hot water. People are going to come to my table and just start jacking stuff. Be like, "Remember, Amy, you said on the con hour, just go jack it." That's not what I'm saying. Don't do that. Anyways, let's spin it and see who wins. I love this thing. This thing makes me so happy.
And the winner is...
Oh, I thought it was going to be Dude. Man. Oh, so close. Nice. I don't know how to
pronounce that.
Do that. Yeah.
And then I'll get the information from you on Discord and get that cup out to you.
Awesome.
Man, okay, let me highlight that.
Congratulations. Whoever just won their coffee cup, I can't pronounce your name.
Now, one of the other things that I'd like to ask some of our guests is any words of wisdom for people who might be taking up music or singing or songwriting, Tara?
It depends on the reason why you want to do it. If you're just doing it for fun or a hobby, then like no advice, just do it. Just have fun and go with it. Maybe take some lessons here and there and learn from people. If you want to do it for a career, I would add on to that, do the same thing. But add on to that, if you want to do it for a career, make sure you love it and know that it is really tough and you're going to get a lot of no's and you're going to get more no's than yeses. But if you love it enough, you will keep going, and then eventually you'll get more yeses than no's. If you practice and really work on what you're doing and learn from people and always humble yourself and know and be able to take constructive criticism. And, you know, you don't have to listen to all of it, but, you know, take it all in and go, okay, well, I'm picking that and picking that. Not all of the constructive criticism is for you. Everyone has their own opinion, but definitely listen to it and don't think I'm too good for that, you know, because no one's too good for, you know, someone else's advice, because it could change your life and make you better. And anything that can make you better is worth it, because if you're going to make it for a career, you got to be better. And every time I thought I was like, I'm good, you know, if you ever think you're good enough and you know enough, then you're not going to go anywhere from there. You got to always be learning and be seeking, you know, to deepen your knowledge of what you're doing and to practice and so forth. You know, the work never ends, and it's not all glamour and fun. There's a lot of other stuff that goes with it.
But the benefits definitely outweigh, you know, when you find somebody who absolutely loves your stuff, that's something that's priceless.
Yeah, exactly. And but
you reach people at a different level where it helps them, like the song that we talked about. We said if it helps one person, then it was worth it. When you actually get the benefit of meeting that person, it just changes you.
Yes, exactly. And it definitely is worth it. And I think that when it comes to, you know, doing that, you really got to do it for the right reasons as well. If you're trying to do music for money, fame, those aren't the right reasons. And if you're trying to find happiness with it, that's not a right reason either, because if you aren't happy with yourself now, any amount of fame or money is only going to make you the same. It's not going to change you. It might even make you worse. You can't fix yourself or your feelings about life that way. You really got to work on yourself. So if that's the case, you really got to work on the inner self and seek something greater than you, i.e. God, Jesus. Yeah.
Well, again, thank you for being on our show. And I would like to announce next week we are going to have AnchorCon from Clayton, New York, with their first ever Comic Con next to Lake Ontario. So we look forward to having them with us.
And the next week is who?
Yeah, next week after that is Kevin Zorbo. Yes, Hercules himself.
Sweet.
As for now, wish everybody a very happy weekend. And next weekend is July 4th, so celebrate safely, people. I don't want to hear about people having their hands blown off.
Safety first.
Until then.